Okay. All right. So it says that we're live. I'm just gonna wait for it to pop up here on the screen before we get into this. Let me refresh here.
So it's
Oh,
called on. If you,
okay,
yeah, if you go to
okay. Oh,
the
all right. So okay,
it does have the Zoom.
it does. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Guys, what's up? First
What's up, guys?
episode. Welcome to the Untapped Podcast. I'm your host, Ra. We got our awesome co-host here, Mr. Soul Ferret. What's going on, Soul?
Not much, not much. Just waiting for our first podcast.
I know, dude. Episode 01. Let me see here. I have to make sure. Let's mute our stuff here. Okay. Um, yeah, we don't have no background noises. Yeah, dude. Yo, episode 1. Holy crap, bro! Finally, after like how long we been planning this for? Like a year since. Well,
Probably
almost a year. I think since July when I was streaming on
Twitch.
Twitch. Yeah, we've been talking about it. Oh my god, bro!
Probably.
It's been a freaking year, bro.
But I know we brought it up over a year ago. Like not necessarily like for seriousness, but like hey, let's do this. We could do this.
Yeah, dude.
Ah,
Freaking thought came into
all
to
right.
life, man.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So
yeah, man. So what's up?
did you want to bring the topic up or?
Oh yeah, we're pretty much gonna be talking about what's going on in the Amber Heard trial. As you know, it's been meme city with everything going on and how ridiculous this trial actually is. But it sheds light on a lot of interesting things, man. So we're definitely gonna dive into that. Before we get started, obviously this is kind of our intro. We don't have an intro. We have an intro video, but we can't play the intro video because, as you can see with the damn watermark, we are using Zoom right now. This is a very first podcast, so the production value is going to be ass, to be honest. But we're eventually going to get there. And we're going to have our intro, we're going to have our outro. We might have to switch up exactly what streaming software we use, but this is what's going to work in the meantime for the next few episodes until we do a little bit more research. But it's awesome to actually finally be streaming, dude. I left Twitch after, a few months ago, and just to kind of take a break because I got freaking burnt out, man. And it felt good to be back to not being exposed. But as time went on, you kind of do get the itch to come back a little bit. And I think the podcast idea was awesome that, you came up with last year. And after all the planning and all this shit, we're finally down, man. We're here. So yeah, Soul, what's up, man? How you been?
Been good. It was called not much going on. It was called we just got recently engaged again.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm already married, but it's called we decided, hey, we've been married for 5 years. Let's go ahead and renew the vows. It was called and make it like do that whole ceremony, that kind of stuff. And that, just like Raw said, it's called. I used to be a streamer as well on Twitch. Not as awesome as Raw, but what's it called? But I left streaming probably about 2020, I believe.
True.
2021. Back in December, it's called December because I decided I want to get up and move to the Grand Canyon.
The middle of nowhere.
Pretty much.
Stupid.
You know what? Sometimes. What's it called? Nah, but it's been great. What's it called? It's called. Definitely has had some alternating life changes.
Yeah, for sure.
But what's it called? But like I said, we're here. We're excited to be here. We're excited for all the listeners to get to know us over the time frame of these podcasts. And yeah.
Yep.
So, I'm glad to be
Dude,
here.
that's awesome, man. So the Grand Canyon is still where you're at, right? You said?
Yeah, so I'm actually located in the south rim of the Grand Canyon in Arizona.
Okay. All right. So yeah, guys, you heard it. So when the audio gets a little bit crazy, you already know what's going on. You got a little wind blowing, so it'll mess up the quality. So just to give you guys a heads up. But so far it's been going good. We've been testing it on the back end for like the last hour to make sure that we know what the hell we're doing. And everything seems to be working pretty good. We're hoping that for the next hour and some change that it goes great. As you guys saw, as our banner on YouTube, every Monday, we're going to try to stick to the schedule, 1 p.m. Eastern to 2:30 p.m. Eastern. He's obviously on the West Coast, so it's 3 hours earlier for him. but yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. Every single Monday, we're going to have different topics, different people on the show that we can interview. So it's going to be pretty cool, man. So hopefully, slowly we'll start building this thing up, and I don't know, we'll see what happens. We'll keep doing this. I think it's going to be pretty freaking cool. So yeah, today's topic again is the Amber Heard trial that's currently going on right now. I think they were off for like a week or something, like all last week. I think they were just doing like replays, and then they're coming back this week with her on the stand.
Yeah, so it was a call on that note. So they took a week off because the judge had a prior engagement to some kind of conference, that kind of something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a call, so they did a week off. Obviously, we came back today to see Amber Heard being testified against Johnny Depp today, with her lawyers.
Yeah.
So it was a call. So, I mean, at this point, it's pretty much just her trying to give her side of the story of things.
Yeah,
I think she's still like sticking to that one role of playing victim, even with evidence that she's been given of her, announcing in video that things weren't necessarily always innocent for her.
Yeah, dude. She kind of threw herself under the bus there, and it's not good. I don't think it's going well for her. Obviously, he has his demons as well, and obviously video footage of him acting out, but there still hasn't been any proof of fucking physical assault.
No, there hasn't.
So, but for her, there was. So,
there's been, yeah. And I think in the motion of, her not doing so well is, I think at this point, she needs to calm down on the overacting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I understand that she, whether or not this happened or not, was called, because obviously, we will, as the outsiders, we will never know the true facts of what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're
exactly.
We're just looking into a window of their life together.
Yeah.
So, but on that notion, all this, overacting, facial expressions, that kind of stuff that you normally wouldn't make.
Like my dog stepped on a bee. Fucking kill me.
The thing is, like, exactly, it's like but again, what baffles me in that sense is, like I said, it was called one, when Johnny Depp was testifying, he couldn't get more than 5 to 10 words out before her lawyers would call out hearsay.
Kept interjecting, so he doesn't really go too much into detail. They didn't want him to get into detail. That's exactly what it was, man. Yeah.
And with that in mind, he doesn't have that chance to overact to where now when she's testifying and she's giving these long, detailed stories, it doesn't seem like it seems like overacting, because it's one, the bee thing. Two, he slapped me across the face. I turned and looked at him. And
you saw those memes on that?
Yeah, I seen all the memes. My wife keeps me
all over TikTok, bro.
Yeah, was it called? I think by now, I think we basically, with me and my wife, we've been sending back and forth like on TikTok, like just memes of like, do you see this? Do you see this? Yeah. But I think at this point, she definitely needs to slow down and think about what she says, because whether or not she thinks that she's winning over the judges or not, let's say for instance, her career.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called? It's that point where whether or not the judges agree with her or Johnny Depp, her career is over.
Yeah, pretty much. It's done. That's why it amazes me that this thing is continuously going on, because imagine the roles were reversed. This guy would have been in court right now in a jumpsuit.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the fact that they try to cancel him or he lost so much money and movie opportunities because of an allegation like this, bro. And like life goes on like nothing. And then now you're in court with proof, like the only proof that she actually physically assaulted this guy. And they're still going on with this shit, just trying to find something that Johnny did to also get him with something. But it's already set in stone. She's an abuser. And this is why people 4 million plus signatures now for Aquaman, not to reduce the time down to 10 minutes, but to completely remove her from the movie. If Johnny Depp was in Pirates and a movie was about to come out and shit came out and there was evidence that he was the abuser and there was clear evidence on that, movie would have been canceled a long time ago. That shit would never came out.
Well, the thing is, on that note though, was it called, just from allegations in that article that she wrote, was it called, he did lose movies that, we should have gotten. For instance, Pirates of the Caribbean 6.
Oh, 100%.
Instead of having, I'm probably going to butcher her name. I apologize if you're listening to it, but I doubt you are.
Yeah.
Robbie Margot.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? She's going to play, I think it's got all female cast of Pirates of the Caribbean, which in its own route, all right, that is amazing. I'm happy to see an all cast female production of Pirates of the Caribbean, but I don't necessarily care for it and like that it came from the stem of these allegations that hurt us from getting more Jack Sparrow. Because,
more of his character in the show, and that's what the news today, they replaced him with somebody. I forget who it was. It was an actress or something, right? I don't know if you saw
that's
what you're talking. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't see it. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I think the thing is that's like almost like making trying to think of another such an iconic character in a movie.
Yeah,
that it's like making a GoldenEye movie without James Bond being in it.
Yeah, it's like, really. And just real quick, Stephanie, what's going on? Welcome to the podcast. Episode 01. Glad to see you in here. Hope all is well. We're just going over the Johnny Depp case right now, and just kind of giving our views and what's going on. But welcome. Feel free to chime in, ask any questions. First episode, nothing too crazy. Just trying to get a feel for the the streaming here on YouTube for the first time ever and coming back into streaming. So welcome. And then Soul, you can go ahead and continue unless you want to say something. Totally up to you. Go ahead.
Hey, so how you doing? It's called. Unfortunately, I don't have the live up, so I can't really see who's commenting. So again,
I'll call it out. I'll call it out.
Thank you. Hey, Stephanie. It's called a long time no see. Because I can't see you, but you can see me. Or if you're hearing me, not just Stephanie, but it's called all the listeners. Welcome. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
What's it called?
Like and subscribe. Go ahead.
Like and subscribe. Yes, on all your lovely platforms.
Yeah.
What's called, but so I want to discuss more of her tactics of what because we already talked about she has publicly announced in an audio that she did not punch him, she hit him. Or she didn't hit him, she punched him. Something like that.
Yeah, she didn't. I didn't punch you, Johnny. I was hitting you.
Yes.
I mean, yes. Yeah, hitting. Okay. Doesn't matter how you do it.
Exactly. It's called slap in the face is technically a hit.
Yeah.
But see, this is the part on that note. Before I switch over to a different pinpoint. What's it called? So on that note, let's say for example, if Johnny Depp had an audio of him saying, "I did not punch you, I hit you." That was it called? Right then and there, the court case would have been over.
Yeah.
And it would have nothing to do with whether or not Johnny Depp is the one suing or the one being sued.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the male gets told he is an abuser, he is proven to be an abuser. He is no longer
guilty until proven innocent, bro.
Yes, he is no longer innocent. He is no longer, in any sense, a victim.
Yeah, exactly, and that goes back to because of the masculinity of a man. It's a guy that's physically can overpower a woman 99.9% of the time. So they have to get somebody, and it's usually typically the guy. So we're gonna throw you in jail until they say that, they prove that you didn't do it. We come across, this court case that's going on right now. Wimper, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. You're in Spanish class.
Hola.
Hola, we got Soul here, man. Appreciate you joining in, dude. First episode. I know you can't really hear us, or I know you have to watch us, but eventually we'll get the audio thing going, man. This is just a test. Go ahead, Soul.
Hey, I'm just waiting because you can't hear us.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, was it called? So one thing that she's really proven that she's have publicly kind of announced that she is doing it, and is the whole term of gaslighting.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's already proven that she's pretending that she doesn't understand why Johnny's doing this.
Yeah.
She's, in a video that we have seen in the court case of her having her phone out and then starting to antagonize Johnny. Obviously, Johnny was in the wrong of slamming things, because that can be seen as a form of emotional abuse by slamming things, because it causes, Amber to be distraught, whatever. But in that term of her filming it and then her antagonizing it, especially by bringing up, something that wasn't even needed to be talked about, like which like but rather than being a loving wife or a loving spouse and being, hey, are you okay, what's going on, do you want to talk about it, rather than that, she went straight to being like, bringing up fights, making it about her.
Yeah, you're an asshole, Johnny.
Making him angry, trying to make him angry. And again, that's wrong. And I don't want to make it sound like, she deserves it because, she made him angry. No one deserves to be beat. No one deserves to be, humiliated.
Regardless, at the end of the day, yeah.
Yes. But it's called, and then she's called. So, anyways, and then she's denied, making promises, like for instance when Johnny Depp had a text message to Amber Heard about Amber Heard having a meeting about a film, and that Johnny Depp said, you have basically broken the promise that you've made about whatever topic, that because they never really kind of announced what the topic was. I know Johnny Depp said something along the lines, he's like, when they asked about like what that had to do with, and then he basically said, my guess it had something to do with agreement we had, could be like, hey, we agreed for you not to do this movie or whatever. And what's it called? And then she's proven again and again that she trivializes him, and has made him to seem like a monster. And the thing is, like you said in the past, Johnny has his own demons, whether it's drug abuse, alcohol abuse, or whatever.
Yeah. And just real quick, Candy, what's going on? Welcome to the chat.
Hey, Candy.
What's up? And just real quick, because you had spoke about gaslighting, and just to, for the audience that doesn't really know what that is, I got the actual definition here for you guys. It says it's pretty much to manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. Okay. So let that sink in. Again, that's to manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. Now, if you want to get like an example of that, let's see here. Because I actually had this up before. Let me see here. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt. What's up?
If you want, I can give an example right now.
Yeah, go ahead. If you got it up. Yeah.
So anyways, example would be like your partner's upset with you for something you did. If you're honest about it, it wasn't your best moment. It was a bit of selfish on your part, or maybe it's harmful to them. But admitting to it or apologizing for your actions, feel like it's going to open up a can of worms. So basically, like what she just did was like, by going like, I apologized last night. Anyways, next thing you know, everything's gonna be my fault. You think in your head, and there's a conflict that is likely to follow. Please no, I'll do anything to avoid one of the ugly conflicts we have. I hate having someone mad at me. Was it
Yeah.
called? So for that example, that's exactly what she did in that video. Is it called? I apologize. I'm sorry. I hate that we had this fight. Again, making a situation where he was clearly angry or having emotional distraught or whatever for whatever reason. By her gaslighting, she's making it about her.
Yeah, exactly. And that's freaking insane, dude. And real quick, Boomer, what's going on, man?
Hey, Boomer.
He said, how long time no see you guys? Dude, it's been a while, bro. It's been a while. Ever since, I got off of Twitch, man. But welcome. As you know, or can hear, hopefully. We are discussing the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. Kind of giving our views and as to what's going on, pretty much how silly this been. And what can this mean moving forward for most guys? Will most guys come out now and suck it up and not go with what society tells you and well, it's a girl who hit me, it doesn't matter. We'll see what happens, but this could potentially set the standard for most things and at least bring awareness to it. And Soul was just kind of going over pretty much what's going on between them two and how she's pretty much been acting as far as gaslighting and stuff goes like that. Go ahead.
Exactly. So, anyways, another thing that she's kind of doing is she has or who's called her, or not necessarily her, but her lawyers has asked Johnny Depp they try to get him to admit that he's bigger than her, that he's physically stronger than her, and obviously they didn't catch him by because obviously his answer was
he said no. So. I don't think so.
I don't think so. But see, that's the issue. Is the first 2 weeks of the trial when he was on stand, they were trying so hard to get him to admit to being the abuser, trying to get him to admit his faults.
Yeah, exactly. Again, they go against after him being a man, and then I think now they're just trying to go, for verbal abuse. In the beginning of the trial, that's pretty much what they were trying to go. Okay, if he didn't physically abuse you, abuse is abuse at the end of the day. And now, they got evidence of her abusing him. They don't really have anything of him doing anything to her. So not physically, but maybe verbally now. So they're really trying to just, throw dirt on him, showing how he's acting behind the scenes. And this could really, towards the woman could make her feel some type of way or feel like she's been verbally abused. And I don't know, I feel like they're trying to justify him doing that, which is why she lashed out and did what she did. Yep. You got caught, bro. That's it.
So another thing that I find hilarious that again that affects her standpoint in things is her lawyer, when they're trying to dismiss the trial, saying that there's not enough evidence and stuff like that because they basically can't prove that she wrote the article and that was called whoever wrote the article, all she did was basically greenlight it.
Yeah.
And then literally 5 seconds into her testimony of being on the stand is, why are you here? Oh, I'm here because I'm getting sued by my ex-husband for an article that I wrote.
Yo, yeah, she gave it away right there, bro. After her lawyer said that there's no proof yet, or they haven't proved that she's the one who did it, and she said she did it.
Yes. So again, it goes back down to is, she has proven time and time and again that, one, she's lying. Was it called? Two, was it called? That, like I said before, the overacting is not helping her. I understand that she's trying to come across as, the victim, that she's emotionally distraught because of him and that stuff. But at this point in time, all she's creating is laughter in the court.
Yeah, pretty much her and her freaking lawyers, man.
Yeah. What's it called? So, and it goes back down to is, like how you said before, what this could mean for men moving forward or afterwards, and not just men, average Joe Schmo like me and you, or it could be as simple as other famous couples such as Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, exactly. I think Will could have been in the same position, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I mean,
the red table talks cures all, apparently.
Apparently, what's it called? The thing, and that's the thing is you never know. And it's called, for instance, it's all over the place, because the whole Will Smith slap against Chris Rock.
Yeah.
There's that rumor that Will Smith is being replaced on Aladdin 2 with
The Rock, right?
Rock. Yep.
Yeah, and just to touch on that real quick, since we're on that topic. So, what were your thoughts on what happened that day when he walked up and did that? Saw it on TikTok like the day it happened, and I thought it was a joke, and so I really looked into it, and I saw his facial expression. I'm like, I think this guy was serious, but why?
Yeah,
What
I
do you think about
mean,
that?
I agree on that standpoint. What was it called? I saw on TikTok because again, I don't because I was at work when it happened live. Was it called? I thought it was fake. I was like, oh, okay, like because one when Will Smith comes up, it almost seemed like Chris Rock knew it was coming. Which odds are he's probably been slapped before, but yes, was it called?
Just do it already.
Well, because you can't be a comedian. You can't be a comedian and not expect, um, people to be.
Yeah, you're gonna offend people. Yeah, that's what comes with being a comedian. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So as a cost, again, so when I saw it, when he kind of like made that stance of like standing his ground, I thought like, oh, this is stage. And I mean, one, I'll give him props. He took it like a man. It's called if a guy comes up to me and slaps me, we're throwing hands. Was it called? But
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
so he did do the right thing about not making it a big deal, but yeah, I mean, but again, that part, there's two parts of it, is because when Will Smith or when Chris Rock, sorry, was first making the joke, Will was laughing.
Yes. So yeah, he was
And
laughing and then looked over. She rolled her eyes. She was upset. And in that split second, caused him to just walk up and do it. You get that adrenaline rush when you get into a certain situation, you kind of like black out. I have a feeling that this man didn't really know what he's doing when he went up there and did it, because he's probably just in that panic. Well, obviously he knew he was on, but yeah, he laughed at the joke. She didn't like it. He wanted to stand up for his wife.
Which
that wasn't the way to do it, but he went. Thankfully, it was not thankfully, but at least it was just a slap, and they didn't really get into like an altercation like that where they start fighting each other, fist fighting and shit. Because it could have gone way worse. He went up there, smacked, turned around. He even like had a smile on his face, I think, at one point, walking back to his seat. And then when he sat there and he started keep my wife's name, bro, his face and his facial expressions, bro, you can see like the blood rush to his face. That's when this guy is serious, dude. I couldn't believe it. But it goes back to the relationship with his wife, and she's, I don't know, man.
But again, it goes back down to the whole, Amber Heard, man being abuser, that kind of stuff. Is we don't see what their relationships are like. At the end of the day, the only relationships that we know about is the ones we personally have.
So, yeah, exactly. So, but for Will Smith and Jada, they actually had an open relationship, so everybody knew what the hell they were going through. So they actually, at least for them specifically, they're airing out their thing. And just by that, to know everything that she has actually done, and to think that, okay, we're just gonna have a table talk and we're gonna talk about it. It's okay. I was going through this.
Speaking of that open marriage thing,
stupid.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn I either saw it on the her podcast, or I saw an article about it, about them having an open relationship and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, for years, yeah.
No, and I get that it was called, but it's like then there's like talk about where like their marriage isn't like that kind of that sense of like a romance marriage. It's more like a partnership, like a business, business deal.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing. Like, and it's like, so it goes back down to is we don't know what they're going through. And again, like, even with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, we will never know the true facts of what happened day by day.
Oh yeah, 100%. We can only go off of the evidence that's being provided at the time. Exactly. But even with that little bit of evidence, you get to see that it's not one-sided like that, man. It's you got to take both accounts into consideration, and you have to hear both parties out. This whole, all right, well, we're just going to side with one side first, and then after we take you to court and a month later, we'll then try to provide proof. That's just insane, bro. So that's the shit that needs to change.
It does.
It's crazy.
Because it goes back down to, a lot of people don't understand the statistics when it comes to the amount of men that get abused.
Yeah, and I think you got them on your end, right? Go ahead and share with
Yeah,
the audience.
yeah. So what's it called? So basically, the 1 in 4 men will experience a physical abuse in their life.
So 1 in 4, you said?
Yes, in
Okay.
their spousal abuse, not necessarily like, oh, my mom hit me when I was 10
No,
years
yeah,
old.
yeah, about yeah.
Was yeah.
In a
What is it
relationship, yeah.
called? But and then just so you guys can look at the statistic too. You can find all this information on the ncadv.org. But what's it called? Basically, on an average of every minute per day, 20 people get assaulted by their spouse. And so that would be equivalent to about 10 million women and men. And then so if, in a sense, if 1 in 4 women are the victims and 1 in 9 men, even if you have that 1 in 9 men being the victim, that 10 million people, that is still about 1 million and some change of men being abused every day by women.
Yeah, and that's reported.
Yes,
like that's only reported. Yes. Remember, there's a big majority that don't report as men.
Yes, and that's the thing is like how much of those odds and those numbers would change if men would speak up more about, hey, you know what, I was abused, I was hit, but again, it goes back down to this is those statistics I just shared with you guys. That is just physical abuse. Yeah. Now, if you break it down into the other types of abuse, whether it be sexual, physical, mental, emotional, all those categories.
Oh, did you say emotional?
Emotional. Yes.
Emotional. All right, go ahead.
Thank you. What's it called? So on that note, though, a lot of women, for instance, don't realize that most men most men, when they feel like they're secure in a relationship, that they feel loved, is they need that almost that stroke of their woman letting them know day by day that they're worthy, that they're the most important person in that household. Because again, that whole terminology of the man of the house and that kind of stuff. And I do understand that that's almost, and that's almost backward thinking, like oh well, women can be just as strong as a man. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. I'm in a relationship that where my wife is just as strong as I am. Was it called? And I know that you are too, Raw. Was it called? But it goes back down to is women play more mind games. I'll proudly say that without you get if you disagree. I'll gladly listen to the comments.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
There's a moves about it. There's been jokes about it. Women hold the sex in a relationship.
Yeah, they are the gatekeepers to sex.
Yes.
Remember that, guys. We're the gatekeepers to relationships. They're the gatekeepers to sex.
Because think about this. It's almost that philosophy where it's like, no means no. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. If your wife, if your woman, if your girlfriend, wife, whatever, is not feeling up to it, you should not force yourself on her. I agree with that. But it also goes back down to is, that today's society, right? If a woman says no to sex, but yet the man still initiates it, then it becomes that issue where, oh no, this person is raping me.
Yeah.
So sorry, I shouldn't have said that word.
Grape. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, great.
You're good.
What's it called? Great.
Episode 1, guys. Grape.
Yes,
Episode 1.
Yes, the guy is graping me. But let's
say,
for example,
just real quick. Stephanie had wrote in, pretty much this whole trial with Depp and Heard is basically like a couple going to court and fighting about legal stuff. LOL. Well, it's definitely a couple going to court. It's a little bit more. This is actually a big deal, and this is why a lot of people are actually talking about what's going on, because it comes down to physical abuse. It's not like hey, we're just going to go to court for divorce and we're going to see who gets what. So this is huge, a huge case, and very huge for men in general, because as we've been talking about, a lot of men don't actually speak out on things like this. Why? We're men, right? Masculine. We don't want to be told that our girl's beating us. we're gonna look like, what. So that's why, like, statistics that he had read, certain amount of men, reported to get, physically abused by their partner. That's just a small percentage. Can you imagine the majority of men that are actually going through this? The numbers will definitely change if more men were to come out and talk about stuff like this. So it's this trial itself. It's just very interesting. We had spoke about this behind the scenes. It could, hopefully something comes out of this moving forward for just the general public themselves, and be like, nah, man, these these girls can't be getting away with this. It's not like it's fair to start off with. If there was another podcast I was watching where this guy, was doing something with this chick, mutual, doing their things, she didn't really like it. He told her to leave, very gone. And then she went on another podcast and started talking shit, and to make it seem like he was like a sexual predator or he sexually harassed her. And this guy did a whole podcast about it, like 6 hours long, breaking down everything, text messages and all that stuff. That's how serious it's getting. Like, as a guy, he literally did a 6-hour podcast to break down every single detail of the relationship that they had at that time 5 months ago, just to prove that she was lying. Meanwhile, on the flip side, a girl all she has to say is, I've been sexually assaulted by this man. Lock his ass up and put him in jail. That's how easy it is. That's the difference. We have to go to fucking no man's land to freaking explain that this is not true. And you have to show proof. You can't even, it's not even just word like a woman can do. You literally have to prove this shit, dude. And this is why it's coming down to a case like this, where it's not believe all women, bro. Everybody lies, men and women. So if you're coming, if you're approaching this like a domestic violence case or something like that, it's usually presumed that the guy is the one who did it, and that shit needs to stop, bro. Women, I heard stories where they get into fights, cops are called, and like the woman would literally like beat herself up, put bruises on herself, and then show face in front of the police and say, he beat me, and then that was it. Like, that's some crazy shit, dude.
Whoa.
So this is why shit like this is coming into play, and guys need to be heard out, bro. That's it.
So I'm gonna cut you off real quick on that one.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Since you brought it up on the whole, the woman, faking the hit.
Yeah.
There's been a video of literally Amber Heard and I think it was her sister.
Her name is Amber Turd.
Yeah, Amber Turd. Sorry. It's called, and her sister in a clip, in a video of her literally faking a punch.
Oh, that was that in the security camera?
Yeah.
Where I think it was her sister. I think it was her sister or a friend. And I think her friend was the one that faked the punch going towards her. Like they were playing around or something like that.
Yes.
Bruh. Like, what more evidence do you need?
Exactly.
It's fucking crazy.
But see, and the thing is, like, it's called, and then even today's trial was called, because the parts that I saw, she was called, basically denied, like, she's like, one of her lawyers was like, she's reading an article. She's like, did you do cocaine with this random person? She's like, last time I did cocaine, I was 18 or 19 years old. I'm like, it's like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
One, and this is the reason why. One, there's no denying Johnny Depp being a drug addict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So with that being said, most addictive relationships, by all means, you can have it to where that one person is that addict, and one person is that almost playing that nurse card.
Yeah, exactly.
Relationship, but in most relationships, I would probably put my cards into that. If one person is an addict, the other person is an addict too. Maybe not as strong as an addict, but one of them odds are both of them have an addiction, whether it be cocaine, whether it be meth, weed, whatever.
Yeah.
It's called. And so I don't believe that, this whole like, I haven't done drugs in forever. And what I find funny is, she, they have brought on Elon Musk's name a lot.
Yeah, they did.
Especially about, what's his name? About him being a perfect gentleman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we have seen photos of Elon Musk having a black eye.
Shit, I didn't see that one. Yeah.
And to my knowledge, again, if you have seen an article, prove me wrong. I have not seen anything. He has not publicly announced why he had a black eye.
Yeah.
So, and again, perception's everything. If, and especially now with the whole light being shed of her, testify, not testifying, verbally in court, but like in the video, in the clip, audio clip of her saying, I didn't hit you, or I didn't punch you, I hit you, that has shown that she does physically abuse.
Yeah.
That, and so it goes back down to it. But then even then, she backtracked this morning and go, oh, that wasn't about that. That was about, Johnny Depp was punching me. I was hitting him back.
Oh, please. Self-defense now.
Yeah. And so see, that's the thing is like, and then it's like, so we have proven time and time again that she's lying, that, she is, again, she's the defendant. She doesn't have to prove that she's lying. She just has to prove that he abused her.
Yeah.
And the sad part is, in the article, she never talked about necessarily being physically abused. So she's talking about being in an abusive relationship. So all she does have to technically prove is that she was in a physical, emotional, whatever kind of abusive relationship that she's been in. So that's why in the long run, I don't think Johnny Depp's going to win this case. And I don't necessarily believe that he had any tendency to win the case. I think for him, this is more of an awareness of like, hey, Hollywood, hey, my fandom. This is the truth. Because whether or not he wins the $50 million or whatever, he's creating awareness to where hopefully he gets, movie deals again and that kind of stuff. Obviously, the sad part about this court case being such a publicly shown item, how do I say it?
Yeah.
It's called, lose my words right now fast. What's it called? The fact that is, there is going to be some, whether it be Warner Brothers, Disney, whatever, who's going to be scared to touch it.
Yeah, after this case, I mean, because there is like videos of him, what they were showing. But I think as far as evidence goes, I don't know. I'm on the flip side. I kind of think he is going to win this case. I don't think he's going to get the $50 million at all. He's going to get some money back. Because apparently she took like $7 million, or they said something happened to her. She won $7 million. She was supposed to donate all of it to whatever she said she was going to do. She never did it. So that's money that came from him to do that. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of evidence, like we just been talking about, of her with the physical abuse. And I don't know, this thing can go on forever, but at the end of the day, I think he is going to win this. Yes, everything was brought out on both ends, and we've seen videos and how he actually talks and what he does behind the scenes that could potentially affect him in the movie industry, just because, oh, okay, well, damn, he does it, he did all this, drugs, and look at the way he acts and throwing, slamming cabinets and all that. That's his character behind the scenes. So that could potentially, hurt him. But the physical abuse thing, on both ends, it doesn't matter who it is, that's a big deal. So if they can't prove that he physically abused her and it was just fucking like the emotional damage, they could get it for emotional abuse or whatnot. I don't know. I think that he'll win this case. And honestly, I don't know what's this. How many more weeks we got to this month? Next week is the last week. I think the last week of this month is when this trial is going to conclude, and it's going to be done and over with. As she's been on trial this whole time, dude, the way she explained things, the video that I was mentioning to you off stream of the guy that really reads body language, bro, called Cap on a lot of shit that she was talking about. It was very interesting 40-minute video. You guys can look it up. You could just type in Amber Heard body language video, and you'll see this guy talking about it. But it's very interesting things that he points out about her, and how it's like you're pretty much lying. When people lie, they end up doing this thing with their lip or their hand, or you see how she's stuttering right here, she can't figure out her word. You point out a lot of things, and like you said before, whenever she's explaining, she's looking at the jurors to really get like confirmation, like, yeah, so this really happened to me, you know. And the jurors aren't going to be dumb, bro. They see what's going on in real life. They're right there. And it's the way she's been pretty much acting throughout this whole thing, and literally acting throughout this whole thing has been it's been very interesting, man. It's been very interesting. So I don't know.
Like I've been kind of like, you know, not necessarily preaching, but like I've been like lately is, again, if she would just keep her answers short and sweet and just kind of like, you know, not have to go this long tangent of what happened.
Yeah, she's going too much into detail, and that was another point. She's going very like too much into detail to try to sell the truth, and that was another thing that the guy was talking about. That's very bad to do. Like, just answer the question. You don't have to say, well, the floor was like white and I noticed it was red stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, too much into detail, bro. Like Johnny, they flipped it on him. He didn't really go into specifics. Hey, she threw a bottle at me and, you know, it broke. You know, not like 10 pieces of glass went to the left underneath the cabinet and I noticed it, you know, like getting really into detail. So that's what they were pointing out. So
no, yeah, and that's the facts of it. Is, you know, what's it called? What's hurting her now is her tendency to overact, you know, rather than, you know, keeping it short and sweet.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's called, you know, if she wants to play the victim, that's fine. But again, at this point, like some of the things that she says, it's just, again, like, you know, the whole B thing, like a lot of it, like it just doesn't make sense. Like why? Which I'm surprised that half things that she said that her lawyers haven't, or not her lawyers, his lawyers haven't been calling, you know, here's, I have to say, but relevance and that kind of stuff. And I do understand to a certain extent, you know, at this point, I think she, you know, with her talking long, she's just trying to, you know, kill time. She's just trying to, you know, basically like, you know.
Yeah, and she also has to be careful with that too. I mean, her lawyer should honestly just cut her off because she'll pretty much throw herself under the bus. So that's actually a good thing that she's rambling, because then Johnny's lawyers will get, you know, they'll take their notes like, okay, she said this, this, and that. You know, so in her case, she shouldn't really be talking that much. Answer the question specifically and wait for the next question. You don't have to get too much into detail because that's going to be used against you when cross-examination comes into play. And then when Johnny's lawyers come up, they're going to fucking ask you and question you about what you just said. Like you saw the previous video, she's talking about something. Johnny's lawyers turn around and they're like, yes, she said it. We got this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So say less. Say less means more.
Yeah, you know, on that topic was called, you know, like you basically just said, you know, she, by her talking so much, you know, she has caught herself with her foot in her mouth over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And at this point, you know, I'm very curious to see how his lawyers deal with her.
Yeah, on the cross-examination. So I think her lawyer's up right now. So I think when it's their turn, yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it was called. Yeah, I think that, you know, but again, they have to be careful, because if they come at her, you know, really aggressive, she could be seen as, you know, being bullied by his lawyers.
Yeah, I mean, I think they know what they're doing. I think they're gonna let her throw herself under the bus and kind of contradict herself. I don't think they would really have to do anything besides just ask the questions and, you know, see if her story pretty much lines up. As you've seen, like you said, she keeps talking, trying to like prolong everything. And she say by doing that, you're gonna throw yourself under the bus by saying something you shouldn't have. And I'm sure they had a long talk, or she had a long talk with her lawyers over this past week break. It's like, yo, you can't be saying shit like this, man. Because there was clips of her saying something, and then they cut to like her lawyer, and her lawyer will put a face like, oh shit, did you just say that? Oh God. You know, so it's tricky, man. You got to be careful, but hey, let her dig her own grave, man. Exactly. It is what it is. Got to be exposed.
See, I'm also very curious because there's been a lot of evidence shown of, you know, Amber Heard's lawyers doing some pretty shady things, like this instance of, when her PR guy was talking with, I think it was, I want to say it was Rottenborn. It could be the other guy. I don't know his name.
Uh-huh.
When he handed that yellow piece of paper and the guy just like slipped underneath everything.
Mm-hmm.
One, I wouldn't think that's illegal to do. I don't think you can really share confidential evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
especially without the court's permission. I would
Yeah.
imagine that everything is given to the press, and things like that, because obviously they can't publicize false information that
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
but again, so obviously, because our main topic obviously today is spousal abuse for in the men's side of it.
Yeah, that's yeah, definitely, guys. So just so you know, that's literally what we're trying to get to in this episode today. Yeah, we're going over the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, but the premise behind it is literally, to bring light to, abuse in general, and in this case, abuse towards men. So this is pretty much our talking points.
And was it called? So with that in mind, it was called again. I'm gonna bring up her lawyer, or not her lawyer, her psychologist this time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't honestly remember her name though. Was it called? But anyways, but again, that whole talk of, or whole testimony from her
Mm-hmm.
was her basically going, men can't be the abuser, abusee.
Yeah.
Men are never the victim. We're only the abusers. When I can honestly say, in past experience, I've been physically abused by past girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
that I've had.
Yeah.
What's it called? Emotional and physical.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? And
wait, did you say emotional?
Emotional.
All right, sorry. Every time it comes up.
You have to. What's it called? But anyways, and one of the examples I have was it called? So, I've because obviously I don't want to like make any ill names for her, so we're gonna call her Jane Doe for now. So this could be like that.
Okay.
I was called so anyways, Jane Doe. I might just say Jane just because I want to say Jane Doe every time. So Jane was called I'd only see her during the weekends because work during the weekdays. She lived a good miles away, and what is it called? So when I didn't see her, it got to the point where like after like we dated for about a year and a half.
Okay. And just to clarify, this is a relationship that you're talking about you personally had in the past?
Yes.
Okay. Just so everybody knows. Okay.
Yes. So what's it called? So I would go over there, and then like literally the moment that we would see each other, it was just like that nonstop fighting. It's called, and I was the one who was traveling to go see her.
Yeah.
So clearly, I wanted to be there to see her, not necessarily like to go be in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I was like probably 18 years old when this is going down.
Okay.
And what's it called? So, but again, she would, throw things at me, tell me I was worthless and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And what's it called? If I would try to stand up for myself in the sense of telling her, basically like mentioning, breaking up, whatever, it was, oh, don't leave me. I need you. You're the best thing I had in my life. So again, the whole emotional standpoint. And then
yeah,
it was called most men, again, like, most men are very strong when it comes to, stroking. Like if you stroke their ego enough,
yeah,
they'll believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you start thinking like, hey, you know what? Maybe I am the best thing that ever happened to her, or things like that. So I can't leave her because of this reason and that kind of stuff. And so at the time, she wasn't working. So I was working a job, and I would basically come over the weekends. I would pay her electric bill, pay all her bills, basically.
Oh, so you mean you're a man, you're a provider? Man.
Yeah, so provider,
young age, and then you got the abuse out of that.
Yes,
ain't that some shit?
And the funny thing is called what's it called? And I wasn't really, and I wasn't getting anything out of that relationship at all. What's it called? But again, I kept telling myself, well, I can't tell anybody that I'm being, assaulted, or I'm being, hit, or whatever, emotionally abused.
Oh, did you say?
And what's it called? So as a
Yeah.
guy who's been in that spectrum of not being the one who's being part of the problem of
Mm-hmm.
not communicating against the statistics of actually what's happening out in the world of men being abused. And
Mm-hmm.
again, the statistics that I brought up, the 10 million, the 1 in 4, etc. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's just in the U.S.
Yeah, that's not even worldwide, bro.
So
That's just in the West. Yep.
all the other countries, obviously, if you go more towards like the certain parts of the world where the men are obviously are known to be very much the abusers.
Mm-hmm.
Was it called? But again, there are countries and states and cities that the women create that household to where they make the men think they're in charge, but they're really not.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, back to my story. What's it called? I'm gonna sum up real fast. Basically, again, getting hit, getting lied to,
Mm-hmm.
getting made me feel like I was worthless.
Mm-hmm.
And then to on top of it, was it called once? So after a year and a half, I think at the year and like 3 month mark, she finally got a job.
Mm-hmm.
And then once she got a job, after like a month later, like that, she just completely just like ghosted me.
Oh, okay.
So after a year and a half of paying her electric bill, paying her phone bill, paying yada yada yada, taking that physical abuse, emotional abuse, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, it was just like, I'm done with you. Bye.
Yep. The moment she got a job, bro. So you guys out there got to be careful on who you pick. Because you'll come across situation, and this shit happens. What you just said happens every day, bro. Women want time, attention, and resources, and you give that to them. You take care of them, and in the moment they have an opportunity, like you said, she got a job. I'm out. That's it. And the boss babes come out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't need no man, but yeah, man, that's so true. And this is what this case is pretty much trying to bring up and set the standard, like your story, being technically like assaulted like that, or throwing things at you, and we're not supposed to quote unquote say anything, which is crazy. So with your story and there's a lot of podcasts and a lot of guys talking about the same shit, and it's cool. It's starting to come out now, and hopefully moving forward, if it really does become a big thing, hopefully there's a small decline in such abuse in relationships with in general, but with women towards men, because it doesn't really get reported. And if there is consequences for that, if that does change in today's day, I would assume that it might drop a little bit, because now females will have, okay, well, I can't do this and get away with it and say that he was an abuser. Hopefully that aspect of that changes moving forward after this case, and we'll see the outcome. But I think it's a good starting point for most men to just speak up, bro, and don't be afraid to say what's on your mind, and just pretty much believe in yourself, bro. Remember, we bring the value into the world, as a man, and we got to hold down our family at home. And if you're the breadwinner, you're doing your thing, and you're taking care of your girlfriend, your wife, or whatnot, I mean, and you're being abused, dude, you got to open your eyes, bro. You don't want to deal with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And again, for the men out there who's listening to that, again, it doesn't necessarily just have to be a physical altercation. It doesn't have to be, oh, my girl slapped me in the face for no reason. What's it called? There is other types of abuse out there.
Yeah, verbal.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's it called? So, ladies, as much as you probably don't want to hear this, and it sounds like, you have, when you have a relationship, obviously we're not talking necessarily about, I mean, our big spectrum right now is spousal abuse. We're not talking about the random altercations of a man coming to you at work and just, slap your butt, or, physically abusing you, or that kind of stuff. We're talking about, spousal abuse. So on that note, for men and women, you're in an equal partnership. One, whether you're female or male, male and male, female and female, you should never lay your hands on your spouse. You should never do that. It's not, cool. It's not cool. What's it called? Because one, if you're in a relationship, you should be there to build and bring up your significant other, not bring them down and make them feel like they're worthless or whatever, because
yeah,
because like men out there, if you know that you're an abuser, and I hope this podcast, and especially this episode, can actually get out there and actually like at least hit. If I can at least touch one person, I'm happy. But I'm hoping that like men, like one, don't think that you can't be the victim. Two, if you are the abuser, stop. Pretty much. Like,
yeah, like what the hell, bro?
Yeah, get a punching bag if you get angry. I'll gladly admit, my wife will gladly admit, I have anger issues. I've never hit my wife. I never like that. I will punch a wall before I punch anything else. What's it called? But again, I haven't punched a wall in probably like six years. Now, when I get angry, I just
bruh.
My wife is very big, and she'll be like, "Go to the corner, time out."
Go kneel on that rice right now.
Yes. What's it called?
Oh my God.
It goes back down to it's called most for the couples out there listening to this, or man or women or whatever. One, if you're in a toxic relationship, get out. Amber Heard, for example, with her being the so-called victim, that whether Johnny Depp hit her even once, that first hit, get out.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it moving.
Exactly.
Women know their worth, bro, and men, you also need to know your worth as well. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So no physical abuse, that shouldn't happen regardless of the type of relationship you're in. You have to know when to get out, man, because as soon as that starts and you stay in that relationship, it's going to keep happening from the very first moment that it happens, bro. Just assume that's going to keep happening. You do not want to stay in there. A lot of people get comfortable in relationships because they're just with their partner and they're used to it, and they probably think in the back of their mind, I can't really get anybody else. You can get somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it moving. You got that person, but know your worth, man. That's pretty much it. Stephanie says, don't need that type of person in your life. I agree. Yeah, Steph, for sure. Exactly. So just moving forward, like Sol said, a message to everybody out there, man. Know your worth, guys. Don't be doing this abusive bullshit on both parties. It's been one-sided for a very long time. But now going back to this case, hopefully it sheds some light on the opposite side and men actually freaking speak out, bro. And if you do collectively, there's going to be consequences. There's going to be a standard set to where if a cop goes out to, domestic violence, it hopefully won't be automatically assumed that the guy has to, be arrested, because there's some states where, and even countries where if the person calls for domestic violence, Joe Schmo living across the street, here's two people fighting in the house, a man and a woman, he calls the cops go to the house. They have to arrest somebody. And who they're going to arrest? They're going to arrest the guy. And then they'll figure it out later on. You know what I'm saying? So if that can actually change somewhat moving forward after all this, it'll be pretty cool. But it's going to take, it's going to take some time. It's going to actually take men to actually speak up and actually say, and also not put themselves in that situation and constantly staying in those type of relationships moving forward, bro. This is why it comes down to know your worth. You can get, anybody you want, as long as you try, and just keep it civil in any relationship that you're in, because you don't want to be in court like this.
Yes. And then was also side tangent real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is for the women out there.
It's for the women.
For the women. Stop manipulating sex.
They use sex to leverage a lot of things, man.
Yes.
The gatekeepers.
Yes, and again, it doesn't necessarily have to be sex. Again, I say that as a guy who's like, what's it called? Don't try to control your partner.
Yep.
What's it called? Whether it be, hey babe, what's it called? If you throw the trash out right now, you'll get a kiss on the cheek.
You get a butt smack.
You get a butt smack, yeah.
Bruh.
What's it called? But again, what's it called? Whether female or male, because and again, it doesn't have to be just physically. What's it called? It can be financially. What's it called? For the women or for the men out there who, let's say, their partner makes more than them. It could be as simple as, hey, I can't leave this person because if I leave this person, I can't financially make it in this world.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Listen, there are programs, there are ways, there are certain job locations in the world where you can work and live. I'll give a great example. It's called up here where I work, the Grand Canyon. There's plenty of companies who can give you a job, and it comes with housing and stuff like that. So there's options. If you feel like you're in an abusive relationship, whether it be such an extreme abusive relationship, such as apparently Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's marriage was, or as simple as, hey, you know what? I'm scared. The moment you become scared in a relationship, get out.
Yep.
Especially if you have kids, because again, I've known and know people who stuck in relationships because they have kids, but either A, they're being abused or their kids are being abused. Abuse is a very strong topic that I feel like on a lot on just like a lot of different subjects, such as the current state that we are in this world, in this country, with racism, not in this country, this world, with racism. Abuse is such a strong subject that we don't talk about more often. Was it called?
Yeah, especially in the guy's perspective too. And
exactly.
Yeah, and just to go back to what you were saying too about, like, even if you're married or if you have kids or whatnot, a lot of people would deal with the abuse like that in a relationship where you do have kids, especially in the guy's end, because as that famous term goes, it's cheaper to keep her. They would rather deal with that versus getting financially destroyed after a divorce and paying child support. It's cheaper to keep her. That's the mentality of the way it's been for the longest time. That's why people usually stay in these types of relationships, which is why you got to be very careful on the women that you select, guys. You know what I'm saying? Just don't go spread your seed far and wide. If you really want to get, have kids and settle down, you just got to know your woman before you get to that point, because this will be another episode that we'll do. We'll talk about marriage and stuff like that with kids and, if marriage is good or whatnot. But that's actually one of the most common reasons why a couple would stay together if they were to have kids and or a marriage. And it's usually the women that would call off a marriage or a relationship, not necessarily a man, because of what would happen after a marriage. You can get destroyed, guys. Alimony, child support. It gets crazy. Again, going back to what I said, that's why they say it's cheaper to keep her. And this is why people stay usually in abusive relationships when it comes like to kids, like, to having kids in that relationship. And, even, there's a bunch of cases where, they don't have kids and they're just boyfriend and girlfriend, and they still would stay in a toxic relationship where it's abusive on both ends. But that's not going to last, and that's not healthy. And eventually one day somebody can get hurt really bad. So you definitely want to be careful and, don't let it get to that point. And if you're a guy, again, know your worth, bro, especially if you're the breadwinner in the house and you taking care of things, bro, come on. You couldn't do better than that. Don't let no woman do that to you. Yeah.
Called, on that topic though, it's called a lot of men will stay in a relationship to have kids because most men who stick around, because obviously there is that statistics where more men in this world leave their kids and wife, their girlfriend or wife behind, more than like that. But a lot of men who have wife and kids will stay in a marriage because, one, they know in the court system that unless they can prove that their household is better, I would say, again, this isn't gonna be like accurate statistics or not, but I would say probably 8 out of 10 families or kids, whatever, will go to the mom, even
Yeah,
though
it's about
you know,
90%. It's about
actually,
90% where alimony is paid to the wife and the children go to the mother as well. It's about 90%, I think, across the board. There's actually statistics on this.
so
And yeah, that's also something that would have to be addressed. Go ahead.
yes. So real quick, I'm gonna give another story
Yeah.
about my past childhood,
Mm-hmm.
because again, on that topic, I was also in a I was a kid who fell into the system of having an abusive mother
Mm-hmm.
who would try to use me and my siblings to control my dad.
Got you.
So on that note, what is it called? Without giving details, that's obviously, again, I don't want to bring up his life or her or
Yeah.
my that. But
Yeah, for sure.
what is it called? But on that notion, I had a very abusive mother, not just physically towards us, but like because she was, what's it called? But it would be as simple as there'd be times where she would try to call my dad, and be like, "Hey, so Mateo broke his arm, even though it wasn't true. Can you send me more money?"
Okay.
So again, it's called, and again, it's called the whole abuse. Like, and I know talk about spousal abuse, but
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of topics where it is usually abusive relationship with your spouse doesn't just stop with your wife, your husband, or your
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend or boyfriend. It can lead into your kids.
Yeah.
What's it called? Whether it be emotional, because whether or not it be emotional or physical, it could be as simple as, "Hey, you know what? I saw my dad punch my mom every single day of my life."
Yeah. It's
Typically,
trauma right there, man.
yes, it's trauma, and guess what? We become our parents.
Yeah, you grow up saying that, that's what and
Yes,
sometimes kids, they think that's okay growing up. um and that's, yeah, that's crazy, and that's how you get this new generation of kids, these days. And marriage rates are as low as they ever been. People aren't having kids as much anymore, so it's crazy, man. But yeah, all types of abuse, trauma, even past the physical, like you're saying. So yeah, it's crazy, man.
yeah.
It is freaking crazy. Let's see here. So damn, time flew, bro. It's already 2:12. Stephanie says, choose women wisely, guys. Yes. Yeah, you gotta vet. You gotta vet your woman, man. That's just the way it is, especially if you want to procreate, and have kids and stuff like that. I know in today's society, people are just, popping out babies and stuff with random people. But it's good to get some knowledge, get insight into people's minds, and really get into like how relationships usually work, how today's dating market actually is, I'm saying, because things have changed from back in the day. Moving forward with social media and um so you just got to be careful out there if you're planning to have kids, and just take some time and really make sure, because right now things are against men when it comes to the court system and relationship and kids and alimony. I think as of I think this coming year, at least with alimony, normally it was like the standard to pay a man will have to pay the woman alimony, like the standard, no debate. And I think they're actually changing that now, that once the divorce happens and alimony is in play, it's now going to be the base of 50-50. It's going to start off that way. Then they're going to start from there and then work their way to see how it balances out, or who's going to pay what or whatnot. So, which is cool. So if they can do that and then move forward to, other aspects of the court system and marriage and child support and how everything works, it'll be a good step, man, because guys are getting destroyed, bro. They're getting destroyed out there.
Yeah.
But hopefully, hopefully things change.
Yeah, hopefully, like I said, hope what this trial does is create an awareness to where,
Yeah.
and again, it's called, and it doesn't necessarily just have to be, oh, people are watching this court, oh, the court system is going to fix itself. It could be as simple as, like how kind of what we're doing right now. We're spreading awareness.
Yep.
Other podcasts are spreading awareness. TikTok
Mm-hmm.
videos are, other social media sites are spreading awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, moving forward, it becomes more of an equal battleground. In
Yeah.
the sense of,
And them being held accountable, the women being held accountable, especially with these false allegations and that's been going on since forever. False allegations, the guy gets fucking destroyed, and then the girl walks out free, and nothing actually happened. But now when they get called out on this bullshit, there needs to be some type of discipline for that, bro. They need to be going to jail for shit like this, because you can easily destroy a guy's life. And women, walking around here like, yo, we're good. Yeah, I lied. This never happened, but I got him out of here. When that shit starts to flip, I think that's when we'll see a small change in how things operate in relationships now, because now women are going to be held accountable, and they can go to jail, bro, just like a guy could. So,
well, just think about this, right? For listeners, we've been talking about gender, about how the woman will gladly accuse the male of rape, of grape, or other things.
Stupid.
But in a real standpoint, there's more than just gender. It's called, as a Latino man, what's it called? Always, obviously, we have our own problems like that kind of sense. But then, and then obviously if you go more towards like the South and stuff like that, like if you have a white, I'll be blunt, if you have a white woman who is the abuser in a relationship, and let's say it's a interracial relationship, let's say the man's a black man, what's it called? And then as soon as she goes rape, well, now he has things stacked against him through the roof.
mm-hmm.
So again, it's that topic where it's like, one allegation, whether it be rape, whether it be
stupid
physical abuse or whatever, yeah, what was it called? It can destroy someone's life.
Oh, 100%, dude. And again, it's usually the majority of men that lives get destroyed because of this bullshit.
Exactly. Because that's the issue, right? If a woman yells abuse, they are the victim. They are the charity case.
Mm-hmm.
It's poor you. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yep, the standard. Yep.
But, yes, but if a man yells grape or abuse or whatever, then it becomes that motion of the guy's telling the other guy, the victim, oh come on, don't be a wimp, don't be
yeah, don't be that. And then this is what happens. That's all you hear. Violins playing.
Yes.
Cry me a river, dude.
Yeah. Dude, it's like, for instance, right? If you're like, hey, last night, I met a girl and she, sexually abused me. She raped me. The guy's gonna look at the other guy and be like, what do you mean? It's called, it's like,
exactly,
because again, it has been proven time and time again, because most men are responsive to acts of a sexual nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that notion is today's mentality in today's society, when it comes to the sexual abuse, men can't be the victim. It's like, oh, I've seen jokes about it where it's like, oh, if I ever deny sex, shoot me. and again, statistically, it's proven. Yes, it's called, most guys have a stronger libido than women.
Mm-hmm.
And that's understandable. It's called because it has to do with testosterone levels.
100%, bro. We've been this way since the beginning of time. Biology,
yes.
Biology. That's just the way we are. We're put on this earth to procreate. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is.
Exactly. But it goes back down to is let's say, for example, and I think I touched on this already, but if a guy initiates sex and gets told no, and still tries to keep at it, it's considered rape.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman vice versa does it, then it becomes, oh, the man's a wimp.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. It's like, oh, you hit that.
The man can't please his woman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You get shamed with the shaming language. That's exactly what it is, bro.
And it's simple, but yet, again, it goes back to the women hold the cards.
Gatekeepers.
Yeah. Yes. But the thing is, like, that whole terminology, oh, man of the house. Men are seen as the person who's in charge of the household financially, in most cases, or whatever. We're the protectors of the house because we're the big guys.
Yeah, exactly. We're the masculine men.
Yeah, yes,
that's right.
But in that case, but in that whole joke of the sense where it's like, the man thinks he's in charge, but it's actually the woman. In most cases, yes, the woman is usually the one who's in charge because it's the woman who is stroking the ego of the man. Oh, you're the king of the house, you're the man of the house, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then it goes back down to is, it could be, stroking the ego day by day, second by second. Oh, you're the man of the house, right? So, for instance, what's it called? In past relationships and stuff like that, as a guy, we tell our girls or wives, whatever, you're beautiful every single day, right?
Mm-hmm.
How often in a day or in a month do you think in a average relationship do you think the wife tells the husband, hey babe, you're hot, hey babe, you're handsome today, you look very handsome today? Like, it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Because again, it goes back to our society is, we have like we have roles in relationships. Some
we do.
Others, some have side and nowadays some people have side roles, like stereotypical. It used to be like, oh, the man worked, the woman stayed home and cooked and cleaned. Nowadays, for example, I was a chef for 10 years. What's it called? I cook at home.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is definitely more the cleaner than I am. With
like
laundry and that kind of stuff. But again, that's just sharing roles.
Yeah.
But it goes back into, this day and age, we have to be careful of what we say. We can't always, as men, if you feel like you're in a abusive relationship, either get out, get help, whether
Mm-hmm.
counseling or whatever. Marriage counseling, relationship counseling, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But but again, it goes back down to, it's a two-way street. You wouldn't want your man abusing you. You wouldn't want your man to constantly call you, fat, ugly, whatever. Because think of it, if a man tells his woman that she's fat or whatever, he will hear.
Yeah, you get hit with the "How dare you!"
Exactly. But vice versa, right? It's called, if a woman tells a man, babe, you got fat. Or babe,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? You're letting yourself go, whatever, right? It becomes almost like a comical joke, like, I don't know, right? That bomb.
Yeah, men take it and you take it from there. It's like, all right, well, maybe I am. I'm gonna go fucking do what I gotta do. Women, on the other hand, bro, yeah, you can't really, like, when it comes to dating and stuff like that, can't really set standards for women, because if you do, you get hit with shaming language. But women can say that they don't want no short dick man, short dude. A guy needs to make at least as much money I make or more, which is perfectly fine, because women can have their standards. But yeah, like you just said, the moment we go out and we have our standards and we say what we want in the woman, or we make comments like that, hey, you're getting a little overweight, whatever, you're done. You're done, bro. This is the way it's always been. And it's unfortunately today's day and age how most women would actually grow up, princesses and fairy tales and all this stuff. But I mean, men can come out here and start preaching, day and night on how it is nowadays, how today's dating market is. A lot of women are going to disagree and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they're going to get hit with reality, bro. And they're going to, reason why they can't find a man or, somebody that can take care of them. So it's crazy. I just think on both ends, it should be open. We should be able to say, how we feel, have our standards, and have that understanding between one another. And I think it'll be good. down the long road. And men don't have to be scared about saying something. Women, don't have to hold back from saying anything, which they typically don't. They just are blunt and say what they want, in a relationship. But yeah, man. So just keep it both ways, and I think it'll be better. But nowadays, it's kind of hard. We don't know if that's going to change. More and more men could, attempt to speak up in that way. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough on the streets. I haven't been on the streets in a while, but yeah, been taking for the last almost 5 years.
I've been taking for the last 8 years, almost 8 years, and again, it's like, as a guy, I'm like, it's almost like the thing is like, oh, it's called, as older we get, it's like, oh, it's called, you see like those 50-year-olds who like date 21-year-olds or whatever. I'm just like, I don't want that. I want to just be I'm happy with the relationship I'm in. I just want to I don't need to be single, but
yeah.
But again, don't let that fear you. Again, what I just said.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's a lot like that. Like, oh, I can't divorce this person, or I can't break with this person.
I don't know what to do. Oh my God.
Yes.
It's like a job. You're at a job that you don't want to be at, but you just stay there because it's a job and you have some type of security with a steady paycheck. Just like, you're in a relationship with a woman and you don't necessarily want to leave for multiple reasons, or maybe because you get constant ask from that one person, let's keep it real. And you don't want to have to go out and, try to find something else, which is understandable, but you don't want to put yourself or leave yourself in that situation, especially if it's an abusive relationship, just because of that. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people in this world, bro. There's always somebody out there for you. Just be smart how you maneuver. And especially for all the guys out there that are married right now, I'm eventually going to be getting married in 2 years. Don't, just because you're married and you're in an abusive relationship doesn't mean you have to stay in it. I know it's tough, and you're really thinking about what's going to happen afterwards, how you're going to get screwed over, or if you can find somebody else. You just got to do what you got to do, bro. At the end of the day, you're going to be happy. And a lot of stories that people have actually done that and moved on have been very good, man. They've been doing very well for themselves, but it took a long time. So, this guys out here just trying to say, do it quicker. You know what I'm saying? Because it can get bad. And you're going to end up on court, freaking law crime channel on YouTube, like Amber Heard and Johnny going through this BS that they're going through. I'm glad this is coming out. So you can see how women could potentially act and how they really try to go after these guys, and emotional and crying and proof, evidence that she's done what she's done. And yet we need a whole court system, a whole month just to prove that Johnny didn't do that to her or, anything along those lines. But on the flip side, she just came out and said that he did this and he lost all these job opportunities, lost pirates, lost all that BS, man, off of because an allegation of what she said, and got paid for it. Over $7 million or some shit like that. Crazy. And if the roles reversed, you got to do this. You got to go through court. Then you can get your money back if you prove innocent. After a whole court hearing. It's insane, dude. It's freaking insane. So vet both sides, men and women. Vet the partner that you want to be with if you really want to be in a relationship, especially when it comes to marriage and having kids. And it's good, that like all this information is coming out from multiple podcasts, multiple people, especially men speaking up. So both men and women can really see what's going on now in today's day and age with the dating market, and they can maneuver themselves in a certain way moving forward with the knowledge. And it's just going to be a better outcome overall for anybody's relationship. So, like example, if you were to get divorced, at least all the knowledge is out here. We're talking about it. There's other podcasts that are talking about it. And now you can maneuver in a certain way with the knowledge, even if, you left your relationship because it was abusive or whatnot. So all is not lost. There's information out there. And yeah, man, so it's pretty cool. We are coming up to 2:30 right now. Time has flew for episode 01, episode 1. Pretty cool discussion, man. It was pretty cool to try to see how all this worked. I see like little things that we can do to improve, of course, like getting that damn Zoom shit out of the way, potentially using another assault. I saw it before, like last week. I tried so hard to take it off. I didn't think it was actually going to show on here. Obviously, there was a possibility of that happening. And obviously, yeah, it is freaking Zoom. Thanks, Zoom. I'm paying monthly, and y'all gonna give me a watermark. Like, really? Jesus.
Can I pay less and get that removed?
Yeah, I was like trying to. I think you actually have to pay more a month to have the feature to remove it, if I'm not mistaken. When I was looking into it, I'm like, Jesus Christ! I think I had to pay. It was like it's like $8 a month or something like that, which like their base package, so you can be able to stream over 45 minutes and some other little like features you get in between. So that was yeah. So I have to look into like, what's up?
So I said, but speaking of that, Zoom, if you want to sponsor us, I
mean, yeah, once we become freaking controversial, yeah, mainstream media. But yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you guys for watching, man. Episode 1, every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna try to do this live. Hopefully get better within each show that we do. We're gonna have different topics. And throughout the week in the Discord, we're gonna let you guys know what topic it would be, and we'll have more notes. We'll probably show videos and stuff like that about all of this, whatever we're talking about. Be a little bit more interactive and slowly grow the channel. To where it could become and have 1,000 subscriptions and get super chats going, so your comments could pop up on stream or questions. Then if it gets to the point where it's like it gets decently big, we can have people calling in and chiming in on the topics. That would be cool. The more people we'll have, the more of a conversation we'll have. So that'll be dope. I know Ramius, I want to get Ramius on here too. We'll have a real estate, Monday. We'll go over, pick his brain on that, since he's been in the game. For those that want to invest into real estate, we can talk about investment, starting businesses, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, a lot more channels of these, coming out is awesome for guys too, on certain topics. But overall, it's gonna be cool. General podcast, on top podcast, where we talk about everything, man. And you guys can make suggestions too in the comments. Just make sure to like and subscribe, hit that little bell, because I was testing it out this morning. I woke up at like 9:30. I was still in bed, and I got the notification that the YouTube channel itself was going to go live, and it was pretty cool. So anybody who is actually subscribed and hit the bell button will be notified of our scheduled live stream every Monday. The date of, you'll get notified like, hey, we're about to start in 10 minutes, and then you can go ahead and join in that way. And I think that's pretty much it with that. Did you have anything to add to that, Saul?
No, I was going to, like I said, I think you pretty much explained it all. Obviously, like, subscribe, for the little bell reminder. What's it called? Like I said, it was called, it's been a fun episode. Definitely look forward to the future topics. I think we definitely have something here that we want to spread awareness to, not just like, talking about, it's called, you see Zendaya's new outfit about the red carpet.
Yeah.
But actually like bigger discussions than just, did you play New World or not New World?
Oh my God, New World.
Elden Ring. Did you play Elden Ring today?
Oh God, Elden Ring, yeah. I haven't played in a while, but yeah, I've been so busy the past couple of weeks, man. It's like,
I mean, there might be a topic where we talk about.
Oh yeah, 100%, bro. Topics are it's gonna be anything. It's gonna be anything. I want to fucking talk about space and aliens and shit. I love the fucking universe. I love shit like that. So it'd be cool to have an episode like that. Boomer says it was a good first episode. Thanks, Boomer. Yeah, man, this is a learning process, dude. Episode 1 compared to episode 50 is gonna be night and day. So it's gonna be cool. Right now, my stream is coming off of a damn iPhone camera right now, wirelessly, not even wired. I'm running it through Wi-Fi, so the quality is okay. Obviously, it could be better. Eventually, I'm gonna get me a nice 4K camera here. I got my little ring light that I used for streaming on Twitch. The rest of the little studio here, you guys will see. Hopefully, once I get that second camera, I got another chair and headphones. Candy eventually will jump on here, and any other guests that I want to jump on for, talk about whatever topics. And yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. So this is the start, man. Episode 1, I think, went very well. We're gonna see what happens once we end it, how the video gets published on YouTube. Excuse me. any timestamps that we can put in the video. I got to see how that works. We'll jump to certain discussions, so it'll be easier for people to navigate. And yeah, so we're gonna go through this week. Hopefully, we'll come up with a topic, Soul, and we'll grab some notes and hopefully show some videos moving forward and get the audience to kind of participate a little bit in there and ask some questions. So yeah, we had a few viewers today. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, guys, thanks for stopping, guy. Wait, I gotta do.
Guy.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Thanks, guy.
But yeah, thanks, guy. Yeah, Twitch community. Yeah, we got to get you guys back in here, man. We can grow this shit. We're gonna make clips that we want to put on TikTok and other social media platforms on certain like clips within the video or the podcast, that might be entertaining to some people. I noticed that on TikTok that usually works, and people ask, "Oh, what podcast is this?" I agree with them when they said this. I want to go watch them. So I think that would work as far as like the marketing stuff goes or whatnot. And yeah, if you guys liked it, again, like the video. I know, Soul, you probably got to get going in a few. And that's pretty much it. I think we're good to go. I don't have anything else to say. Soul, how about you?
Nope, we're all good.
All good.
Look forward to seeing you guys next week. Stay tuned.
Yep, exactly. Stay tuned, guys. We'll see you. Have a good one. Episode 2 coming next week. We'll let you know in Discord on the topic and Facebook and all that stuff. And if you guys would like the topic, you can join in. But for now, we're going to do this on Mondays at the same time. If we happen to squeeze in another day, we'll let you know if we're able to do that. Even another day, another time for, I don't know, a whole other segment that could be sometime in the future. Yeah, man, that's it.
And remember, live your life untapped.
There you go, baby. Untapped podcast, baby. We'll see you next time.